Remember, it has to be red at the top edge and green has to be green at the bottom edge to get a play into the books. And the basic idea here is we can see obviously we've got a top edge there and it's red. So we're looking at that S&P as a short sell there now. And that obviously was an absolute ripper of a sell trade, big winning play there. The green at the bottom edge here, of course, you can see that we go green into the bottom edge here. That doesn't turn out to be much of a winner, does it? No, not really. But again, you can see that, needs a bit of work, but you're not going to lose money on that trade. You're going to get a little bit of a profit and then a scratch out of it for a zero, is what it is. Is what it is. The previous trade, however, there was a red at the top edge of the cells here. So you could have been arguing about a quick short sell into that change of color there, and possibly a little bit of business on the short sell that took us to that buy trade in the first place. Possible, possible. Bottom edge previously, you can see that we were green at the bottom edge here, giving us a buy trade just before the big surge to the upside. Very, very nice. Very nice indeed on that bit of business there. Very, very easy to spot that as an opportunity to get into that buy trade. Moving across to the sides, you can see that there's nothing in this trade. Possible looking at a buy trade here, but it turns grey just before you're looking at it. You can see obviously the previous low was here. Turns grey, goes red and pushes through. And then at the very, very top edge, one of the better opportunities here, you can see a very clear example of what we're really looking for. That's a perfect example there, isn't it? So you can see it's red at the very top edge. Very, very clear, very visual sell-off from that top edge. Very, very good drop in price. And yeah, that's exactly the type of trade we're looking for. At the bottom edge, you can see we had a nice opportunity to maybe buy this green zone. You can see obviously that could have been a thing for you there, but obviously we're now looking to define whether we want to be finding these trade levels in the first place. And obviously any type of pullback into that area would have been a trade you'd look at and say, that's the kind of trade I'm looking for. When it goes green, of course, afterwards here, after that red there, without getting the top edge, very obvious push to the upside. And, a very, very nice, easy to spot buy trade revival from this poor auction here. So when that red goes green, buy side momentum trade. When these greens go red, sell side momentum push here. And it gives you that basic idea. And this is based on Max, of course. It's based on the spectrometer, so it's just about finding those little spectrometer levels that stand out from the rest of them as possible key trading decisions. And obviously the idea is we will build this around the key trading decisions so that you know that this level is the level you want to sell from. You'll know that this level is a level that's going to get a bit of interest. So we want to make sure we're available to make that play. And obviously in the background, you can see we've got the divergence creeping in here, turning the colors red at that stage. And that's kind of what we're looking for, isn't it? That type of story, that type of information is what we're looking for, but in a way where it's binary. It's binary, and the fact that it's binary gives us more of that confidence that it's red or it's green. It's not a part red and it's not part green. And you can see obviously why we got a buy trade here, because it looks like the market maker's taking control. But in hindsight, looking at it, you may well have had the knowledge that this is just a parallel shift at the end of the day. And you could have taken a look at that and said, that's not going to be the kind of trade I want to be selling and buying into, yeah? Whereas you can see the strength of the sell trade here was very, very good. That's a good storyline. And we could probably argue that the storyline here is pretty good as well. You can see the overall divergence on everything at that stage looks pretty reasonable. Very, very strong sell-off on the AMP, big exhaustion, and a very, very nice top edge to boot. And, that's got to be something you look at and say, that makes perfect sense. That play there makes perfect sense.